The story of America is often told as a straightforward tale of progress, a narrative of pioneers, innovation, and the relentless march towards a brighter future. But this story, while inspiring, is incomplete. It often overlooks the struggles and triumphs of those who were marginalized, oppressed, and silenced. Among these, the story of Black resistance stands out as a testament to the indomitable human spirit. But this narrative often ignores a powerful current running beneath the surface: Black resistance. This resistance is not just a footnote in history, it is a central theme that has shaped the very fabric of the nation. It is a story of courage, defiance, and an unyielding quest for justice. From the moment enslaved Africans arrived on these shores, they fought back against their oppression. They resisted in ways both overt and subtle, from revolts and uprisings to the preservation of their cultural heritage and the creation of new, vibrant communities. Their resistance was a beacon of hope, a declaration that their spirit could not be broken. This essay will unearth these hidden chapters, revealing the unwavering spirit of Black Americans. We will delve into the stories that textbooks often gloss over, bringing to light the voices that have been silenced for too long. These stories are not just about survival, they are about resilience, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of freedom and equality. We will journey through time, exploring the diverse forms of resistance that challenged injustice. From the early days of slavery to the modern era, Black Americans have continuously found ways to resist and fight back. Their methods have been as varied as their experiences, ranging from armed rebellions to peaceful protests, from legal battles to cultural expressions, from daring escapes on the Underground Railroad, where brave souls risked everything for a chance at freedom, to the establishment of secret networks that provided safe passage and support. These acts of defiance were not just about escaping bondage, they were about reclaiming humanity and asserting the right to live with dignity. To the resounding calls for equality during the Civil Rights Movement, where leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and countless others stood up against systemic racism and demanded change. Their voices echoed through the streets, in courtrooms, and across the nation, inspiring generations to come. Black Americans have never stopped fighting for their rightful place. From the abolition of slavery to the fight for civil rights, and now in the ongoing struggle against racial injustice, their resilience and determination have been unwavering. Each generation has built upon the legacy of those who came before, continuing the fight for a more just and equitable society. This is a story of courage, resilience, and the enduring belief in a better tomorrow. It is a story that transcends time, reminding us that the fight for justice is never over. It is a testament to the power of the human spirit and the unbreakable will to overcome adversity. It's a story that needs to be told, not just for Black Americans, but for all Americans. Understanding this history is crucial for anyone who seeks to comprehend the full scope of the American experience. It is a story that belongs to all of us, a shared heritage that shapes our collective identity. Understanding Black resistance is essential to understanding the complexities of American history and the ongoing struggle for racial justice. It provides context for the challenges we face today and offers lessons on how to move forward. By acknowledging and honoring this history, we can work towards a more inclusive and just society. By shining a light on these untold stories, we gain a deeper understanding of the past and present, and hopefully, a better path forward. These stories are not just historical footnotes. They are living legacies that continue to inspire and guide us. This essay is an invitation to listen to the voices that have been silenced for too long. It is a call to action, urging us to recognize and celebrate the contributions of Black Americans to our shared history. Their stories are a vital part of the American narrative, deserving of recognition and respect. It's a call to recognize the strength and resilience of a people determined to forge their own destiny. Through art, music, literature, and activism, Black Americans have continually shaped and enriched the cultural landscape of the nation. Their creativity and leadership have been a source of inspiration and change. It's a reminder that the fight for equality is a continuous journey, and the pursuit of justice requires unwavering commitment and action. As we reflect on these stories, let us be inspired to continue the work, to stand in solidarity, and to strive for a future where equality and justice are not just ideals, but realities for all. Slavery, a brutal system designed to strip individuals of their humanity, was met with constant resistance. Despite the overwhelming oppression and the severe punishments that awaited any form of defiance, enslaved Africans found ways to resist their captors. Their resistance was a testament to their resilience, courage, and unyielding spirit. Enslaved Africans refused to accept their fate passively. They fought back in numerous ways, each act of defiance a bold statement of their refusal to be dehumanized. Whether through subtle acts of sabotage or outright rebellion, their resistance was a powerful force. They resisted in ways both big and small, visible and hidden. Some would break tools or work slowly to disrupt the plantation's productivity. Others would steal food or feign illness to undermine their oppressors. These acts, though seemingly minor, were significant in their impact and demonstrated the enslaved people's ingenuity and determination. From individual acts of defiance to organized rebellions, every act chipped away at the foundation of slavery. Organized rebellions, though risky and often met with brutal retaliation, were a clear message to slaveholders that their control was never absolute. These uprisings were a source of hope and inspiration for many enslaved people. One form of resistance was running away. Escaping from the plantations was fraught with danger, but for many, the chance of freedom was worth the risk. Enslaved people would often travel by night, using the cover of darkness to evade capture. They relied on their knowledge of the land and the help of sympathetic individuals to find their way to freedom. Thousands of enslaved people risked everything to escape to freedom, often aided by the Underground Railroad. This secret network of routes and safe houses was operated by abolitionists and former slaves who were committed to helping others find freedom. Harriet Tubman, one of the most famous conductors of the Underground Railroad, led many to safety, earning her the nickname Moses. This network of safe houses and courageous individuals provided a lifeline, demonstrating the power of collective action and unwavering compassion. The bravery of those who operated the Underground Railroad and the determination of those who sought freedom were testaments to the human spirit's resilience. Rebellions, though less frequent, shook the South and instilled fear in the hearts of slaveholders. These uprisings were often brutally suppressed, but they left an indelible mark on the psyche of the enslavers. The fear of rebellion forced slaveholders to constantly be on guard, knowing that their oppressive system was always at risk of being overturned. Nat Turner's Rebellion in 1831, a bloody uprising that resulted in the deaths of over 50 white people, sent shockwaves across the nation. Turner's Revolt was one of the most significant and violent slave uprisings in American history. It highlighted the deep-seated anger and desperation of the enslaved population and the lengths to which they would go to fight for their freedom. It served as a stark reminder that enslaved people would not submit to their oppression without a fight. The rebellion led to harsher laws and increased repression, but it also galvanized the abolitionist movement, bringing greater attention to the horrors of slavery and the urgent need for its abolition. Even in the face of unimaginable cruelty, enslaved Africans found ways to hold on to their culture and dignity. They created spaces where they could express their cultural heritage, passing down traditions and stories that connected them to their African roots. These cultural practices were acts of resistance, preserving their identity and humanity. They passed down traditions through storytelling, song, and dance, keeping their heritage alive and nurturing hope for a future free from chains. These cultural expressions were not just a means of survival, but a way to resist the dehumanizing effects of slavery. They provided a sense of community and solidarity among the enslaved people. These acts of cultural preservation were powerful forms of resistance, affirming their humanity in a system that sought to deny it. By holding onto their traditions and passing them down through generations, enslaved Africans ensured that their culture would endure, even in the most oppressive circumstances. Their resistance in all its forms was a testament to their strength and resilience. Education, a powerful tool for liberation, became a central focus of Black resistance after the Civil War. The end of slavery marked a new beginning, but it was fraught with challenges. For newly freed Black Americans, the quest for education was not just about learning to read and write. It was about reclaiming their humanity and asserting their place in a society that had long denied them basic rights. Denied access to knowledge under slavery, newly freed Black Americans recognized education as a pathway to empowerment and equality. They understood that literacy was a key to unlocking opportunities and breaking the chains of ignorance imposed by their former oppressors. Education became a symbol of freedom and a means to achieve social and economic mobility. They understood that knowledge was essential to navigate their new realities and dismantle the structures of oppression. With limited resources and facing hostile environments, Black communities pooled their efforts to create educational opportunities. They built schools in churches, homes, and any available spaces, often with little more than determination and a few donated books. Despite facing immense obstacles including poverty, discrimination, and violence, Black communities established their own schools and educational institutions. These schools were more than just places of learning. They were sanctuaries of hope and resilience. Teachers, often underpaid and overworked, became pillars of their communities, dedicating their lives to the education of Black children. These institutions, often supported by churches and Black-led organizations, provided a space for Black children to learn and thrive. Churches played a crucial role, not only as places of worship, but also as centers of education and community gathering. They offered a safe haven, where children could dream of a better future and adults could learn skills to improve their lives. They nurtured a new generation of leaders, thinkers, and activists. These educational efforts laid the foundation for future generations to continue the struggle for equality and justice. Graduates of these early schools went on to become influential figures in various fields, from education and politics to science and the arts. One of the most influential figures in the fight for Black education was Booker T. Washington. Born into slavery, Washington's journey from bondage to becoming a leading educator and advocate is a testament to the transformative power of education. His life story inspired many and highlighted the importance of perseverance and self-reliance. Born into slavery, Washington rose to become a prominent educator and advocate for vocational training. He founded the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, which became a model for vocational education. Washington believed that practical skills and economic self-sufficiency were essential for Black Americans to gain respect and improve their social standing. He believed that through education and economic self-sufficiency, Black Americans could challenge racial prejudice and achieve equality. Washington's philosophy emphasized hard work, discipline, and the acquisition of practical skills. He argued that by excelling in trades and professions, Black Americans could demonstrate their value to society and gradually erode the barriers of racism. However, not everyone agreed with Washington's approach. His emphasis on vocational training and economic progress was seen by some as too accommodating to the existing social order. Critics argued that it did not address the urgent need for political and civil rights. Webb Du Bois, a sociologist and civil rights activist, argued for a more assertive strategy. Du Bois believed that higher education and political activism were crucial for achieving true equality. He championed the idea of the talented 10th, a leadership class of educated Black individuals who would lead the fight for civil rights. He criticized Washington's emphasis on vocational training, advocating instead for higher education and full civil rights for Black Americans. Du Bois's vision was one of immediate and uncompromising demand for equality, believing that only through political power and intellectual development could Black Americans achieve true liberation. Du Bois's ideas laid the groundwork for the civil rights movement of the 20th century. His advocacy for higher education and civil rights inspired future generations of activists who would continue the struggle for justice and equality. The debate between Washington and Du Bois reflects the broader tensions within the Black community about the best path to freedom and equality, a debate that continues to resonate today.